Ladies and gentlemen, karibuni katika Gachie Skyman TV, the tallest man back Africa. The real William Samoei Ruto is now coming out. The true William Samoei Ruto is now manifesting himself. William Samoei Ruto, when he talked about the judiciary, when he said that he's going to tame corrupt judiciary, many Kenyans were left with many questions, kwa sababu huyu ni William Samoei Ruto ambaye baada ya kuapishwa kama rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, hata kabla ya masaa 24 kupita, aliwaita majaji ambao walikuwa na kashfa kulingana na serikali iliyotangulia, the 5 Court of Appeal judges, and without even looking at the reason why Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had refused that they be sworn in, William Samoei Ruto ensured that they were sworn in, just to embarrass Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I've always told you that William Samoei Ruto is actually a populist leader, just to actually shame and show Kenyans and the judiciary that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta did not know what he was doing. Aliwachukua na kuapisha. Today, William Samoei Ruto is crying that the judiciary is hopelessly corrupt. And I told you that there must be some reasons why Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta left that file on the table of William Samoei Ruto. I think William Samoei Ruto had a duty to peruse that file, investigate what was happening, because I strongly believe that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta meant well for this country. And when now we see William Samoei Ruto lamenting about the corruption in the judiciary, then we are left with many questions. I told you in my other video that it is the judiciary that made William Samoei Ruto the President of the Republic of Kenya. Without the Supreme Court, William Samoei Ruto would never be the president of this country. But now, the court's orders means nothing to William Samoei Ruto. They can be trashed. They means nothing. They can be disobeyed. And when he do it in public, you know, he's supposed to defend the constitution. Remember, when aliapishwa na kuapa kwamba ageilinda katiba na kuitumikia, but he's now leading Kenyans in disobeying the court orders. Now, how are other Kenyans expected to behave, if you ask me? When you look at William Samoei Ruto, many questions are emerging in people's mind. Because I was asking myself, I was asking a friend, if now, 2027, William Samoei Ruto is trounced by Azimio candidate, as is actually expected, do you think he's going to concede defeat? Do you think William Samoei Ruto is going to concede defeat? Do you think he's going to obey the ruling of the Supreme Court? Because the real William Samoei Ruto is now coming out, and the person who is coming out is very, very different from the one who was campaigning. Again, we have also seen him akitisha watu kama Okia Omtata kwamba wanaenda kotini kuleta au kupiga sijui mipango yake, and the courts are there to arbitrate. When the framers of our constitution separated the powers, because what we have the government has 3 arms. We have the judiciary, we have the legislature, and we have the executive. Parliament is vested with making, amending the law, and oversighting the executive. The executive implement the law, and they have no business of not implementing the law that have been made by Parliament. Again, in case of conflict, the judiciary comes in. The judiciary comes in handy. So when it comes to arbitration, that work was left to the judiciary. And for many people who don't even know why watu walisema ya kwamba wanasiasa wabunge wasichaguliwe kama cabinet secretaries as ministers, is because you cannot have the same people making the law in Parliament, because they are also legislators. They were making laws, and then the same people would implement the same law. There'd be a conflict of interest. So that is why we have the separation of powers. And I think Martha Koome is too soft, if you ask me. The judiciary needs a Maraga Supreme Court judge, needs somebody like Maraga, who is the president of the judiciary, who can stand and tell William Samoei Ruto, Mr. President, you are wrong. But I doubt, because you see, when you look at what is happening, there must be some reason why William Samoei Ruto is disobeying the court orders. Number one, I want to look at the main reason why he is disobeying the court orders. Number one, ni kwa sababu wanaona ya kwamba Wakenya wamerevuka. Unajua mjiga akirevuka, mrevu anakuwa mashakani. Wakenya wamerevuka. Kwa mfano huu mpango wa nyumba za gharama ya chini ni jambo ambalo limeleta matatizo makubwa sana. I told you the affordable housing project to William Samoei Ruto is a matter of life and death. It is a project that is so dear to him. And many people are asking questions. And even when the court said that you cannot force some people to pay and others are not paying, then there is no legal framework. So the court said that there must be a legal framework. And people have been raising these questions, including how the government is acquiring land. And hata wakati ambapo watu watakuwa wakinunua zile nyumba, hizo pesa zitakuwa zinaenda na nani? Na hao watu ambao wanajenga nyumba ni akina nani? Walipewa kandarasi lini? Na wanauzia watu kwa how are they determining the prices of these houses? And people asking these questions. Kenyans are intelligent people. So that is one of the reasons why he's actually trying to castigate, kwa sababu ile mipango yake, kwa sababu watu wanauliza maswali mengi. Ni haki yao ya kuuliza maswali. Ni haki yao ya kuuliza maswali. And people must be involved. The second reason is because, the fact that William Samoei Ruto see that he's likely to fail. Most of his projects may not even take place, including the insurance funds, the health insurance fund, kwa sababu it was stopped by the court because of some illegalities. Kwamba ni jambo ambalo linamtia wasiwasi. So he is actually threatening the judiciary. And coming from the president, it is dangerous, if you ask me. In fact, the president should ensure that nobody interferes with the judiciary. But not when it comes to him, that he's now the president is the one who is actually intimidating the judges, is the one who is intimidating courts. Then the court should start firm, and because you see, kila mtu ana kazi yake. Kila mtu ana kazi yake. National Assembly led by the speakers, kuna kazi yao. The executive led by the president, who is the head of government and head of state, ana kazi yake na wana kazi yao. The same case applies to the courts head by the Chief Justice. So this idea of actually trying to intimidate the judges doesn't augur well in a democracy. And I'm expecting watu wajitokeze kupiga swala hili na kuonyesha makosa bao yapo, because we cannot have a banana republic. We can't have a banana republic, because whatever the case, William Samoei Ruto took the Bible and said that he's going to defend the Constitution. He is not defending the Constitution. If you ask me, I can say that William Samoei Ruto is setting a very bad precedent. Na kuna watu ambao ukiwasikiliza wanasema hata Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta hakuwa akifuatilia pale. But you remember very well that during that time, William Samoei Ruto would cheer. Remember during the building of bridges initiative, when it was declared illegal, when it was declared unconstitutional by even the Supreme Court, William Samoei Ruto's wing of the government, of the politicians, they went celebrating even in the street. Wengine walikunywa mvinyo, sherekea, because according to them, William Samoei Ruto had won and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was defeated. Now, kubona wakati huu wanaona ya kwamba court linakosea. And I remember even when the Supreme Court, they said that William Samoei Ruto was validly elected and declared the president. I think tuliona Kenya kwanza wakishangilia, wakisema majaji wamesimama dhabiti, wametetea katiba, wametetea sheria. Now why are they now feeling bad when the courts are saying you are wrong here? I don't know what you think, but if you ask me, William Samoei Ruto is wrong here, and this is one ground of impeachment. I hope the people are watching, including that idea, in fact, of even threatening members of parliament who are actually defending common mwananchi, who are actually oversighting the government. Watu kama Okiya Mtata kwenda kotini na kutishatishwa kwamba hata that sword ati sio ya kukatakata boga, sio kukatakata sukuma wiki, inaweza kutumika kwa njia baya. I think that is overstepping the mandate. I think William Samoei Ruto need to be very very careful with what he says, and especially in public. Unajua mambo mengine anaweza kuongea wakiwa katika mikutano and waongee vile ambavyo unaweza kukabiliana na masuala fulani, but now when it comes to public, and now wakati wa maandamano anaanza kuambia Raila Amolo Odinga, sasa nyinyi mnavunja sheria sijui nini, yet it is enshrined in the constitution. So how does William Samoei Ruto expect these three arms of government to work in harmony? We know very well that William Samoei Ruto has managed to muzzle the parliament, the legislature is in his hands, has been captured. But now the fact that most of the judges, by the way, most of the guys are very, very independent. I cannot rule out corruption in the judiciary. It is there. But I know there are people of integrity. And when it comes to matters of law, pale ni akili ambazo zinafanya kazi na sheria, sio vile ambavyo rais anataka, sio vile wananchi wanataka, ni sheria. Unajua sheria ni msumeno, hukata mbele na nyuma. Ni maneno ya wahega. Mimi ni wenu Gachie Skyman, the tallest man in Black Africa. Kindly like this video and enjoy your evening. Adios.